If I could hit the power button, that would be great. Hello everybody and welcome back to Lilith's Attic. My name is Julia Pasqua and it's another Tarot Card Tuesday. This week, continuing on in our cup suit, we have the Six of Cups. Now the Six of Cups is a very joyous and happy card. It's very nostalgic and filled with childlike wonder. As you can see, there are two children on the card who are playing, and this is a reminder of those joyous childhood memories or times in your childhood that were more innocent and happy, and it's a reminder if those times existed once, they can exist again. Normally this card means that you have just gone through a painful experience, and if you pull this card it means that you get to have a time of joy now after that pain. A few more symbols to point out in the card. As you can see, there are flowers all around these children, another representation of innocence. There is also a guard standing by, guarding these children as they play, so they can play without worry. They can just be themselves, have fun, have a good time, and not have to be looking out for themselves. They're also dressed up like storybook characters to also enforce that childlike memories, kind of nostalgic feel that comes with the card. If you pull this card in reverse, it's that kind of negative side to holding on to those child memories where you're clinging to the past too much and you can't really let go. You're too stuck in the past to be moving on to the future. It's referring to those people who you always say, oh, they're stuck in the good old days. That's the reverse of this card. All right, you guys. Let's go make the Six of Cups. Come on. All right, you guys. So for my Six of Cups, I know the obvious choice, since they were dressed up like fairy tale characters, and if you've been here a while, you know the obvious choice is if I did something that represented fairy tales. But for once, I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling called out as a nostalgic feel for fairy tales. Fairy tales and I have a very different connection. I think my current life is still very connected with fairy tales, so I don't link it too much with nostalgia. So I'm not going a fairy tale route for this card. I know, shocked. I was thinking of this feeling of freedom and being free and just enjoying that childlike wonder and the joy that comes with being a child. And the nostalgic memory that came in my head was when you're able just to run barefoot through the grass, no worries, maybe through the sprinklers, or for me it was on the golf course, or on a soccer field, or any kind of empty space in the mountains, anywhere where you can just run as a kid and not care and jump around and do cartwheels. That's the memory I latched onto for the Six of Cups. So for the Six of Cups, we're going to have these rolling hills with these two children just running through. One is doing a cartwheel, the other one's just kind of in her dress with her hair wild, running arms out, just being so free. I feel like as adults, we don't just run around with our arms spread out very much. It's a very freeing thing. Maybe we should do it more. But these two kids are just celebrating in the joy of being young. They're under a moonlit sky because I know in my life, which is now kind of reflecting that maybe the witchy things were in my future, but we always used to play under the full moon. It would be so bright. I grew up in the mountains and the full moon would just be so bright that we would all be able to go outside and just play underneath it. And that was the coolest thing to us. You know, we didn't have the big street lights. We couldn't really go out at night, but when that full moon was out, we could go just play under the stars, and it was incredible, an unmatched feeling that I have not seem to match in adulthood yet. So we have these kids playing under the stars. Now remember, we are in a cup suit, so that means I have to fit cups somewhere in this. So during this time of me running through the golf course or a soccer field under the full moon with my friends, clearly there was parental supervision. I know they would just send us out, but when it got dark we had people watching us. Kind of hint at what that night was doing where they were guarding the kids. I have 3 glasses at the bottom, which are kind of like the adults, because they would sit on the porch and drink wine when we would go out and play under the full moon, and they'd have an eye on us, but they'd be sitting there and they'd be clinking their glasses or just hanging out. So these 3 cups at the bottom are kind of like the adults watching out. And that's also a key for like reliving those glory days, kind of that negative reverse of the card, because some of them were definitely just, you know, reliving the glory days up on the porch and being kind of trapped in the past. So I thought that was a good way to put in the reverse of the card as well. So that's 3 cups. The other 2 cups are going to be the 2 kids have 2 cups laid out on the grass like they were having a drink of Gatorade or water or something, and then they decided to put the cups down and go run around. I know we used to go run around and have snacks and drinks, and that makes 5 cups. So then the 6th cup I wanted to have in the stars, because I know one of my favorite things to do too is to look out for those constellations. So kind of be like the future, the something bigger than us, the joy in being a child and knowing that we are children of the stars, we are children of the world, and we get to just all enjoy that similarly but differently together. No matter if you had this experience or not as a kid, we all grew up under that same sky. All right, you guys, and that is the Six of Cups. Very proud of how this card turned out. I was feeling like I was kind of in a creative lull, which is the hard thing about doing these cards once a week, is like creativity isn't really on a schedule. And I do sit with the card and I think about the card for a week, and that might sound like a long time, but sometimes I'll sit on drawings for months before I actually put pen to paper. And with doing this tarot card regime each and every week, I'm really forcing that creative stuff out of me, like on a clock. So sometimes that's very difficult. I felt like this card was just very freeing, which is the point of the card, is to be free and have joy, and was able to do that creatively this week too. So in a way, it's kind of good that it forces me to sit down and draw each and every week. That leaves me with my message for all of you this week, which is a really fun one. Bring back those childhood memories, bring back those feelings of being free and joyous and young and excited and safe. And don't get too caught up in those glory days, but hold on to those childlike feelings and have fun with it. I will be at Mount Dora the 18th and the 19th of March. That's coming up. That's this weekend. Link is also down below. You can find out exactly the location where I will be this weekend. And I will also be announcing for Kingdom of Wrestling on March 17th. So I have a busy weekend coming up. And if you guys are interested or down in Sarasota, that will be at Munchie's 420 Cafe. And you can see me doing something a little bit different than sitting here talking about tarot cards. I hope you guys truly have a wonderful and fabulous and incredible and amazing week. And just like always, thank you so much for being here. And I will see you all next Tuesday. Mwah! Bye, guys. I almost knocked over the camera. Whoops.